Hey, look at me. I'm live. Let's see if this all works. Oh, there I am. I'm live over there too. What are you doing? Well, problem was Duchess had no voice this morning. And to be honest with you, like I said, I had so much going on, ripping everything apart, putting it all back together again. I kind of could use the extra time. And then the other thing I think I did was I ended up buying a $500 mixer that I hate more than the one I just bought, the one I had. Can you return that? Can I ship that back? Would that work? We got comments. Oh, there's Dean. Hey, Dean, how's it going? This is just to test everything to make sure because I bought a mixer that I thought I was going to use. Hey there, Joaquin. What's happening? And I had completely taken the whole studio apart, reconfigured everything. You know why? Because I put the old mixer back in again. And the brand new one I paid $500 for, not very happy with it right now. I'll tell you that. So anyhow, I was talking to Duchess this morning, and I said, "Rest your voice, if and maybe, like I said, Monday we'll just do this again." I didn't want to, like I said, have to sit there and talk the whole time and have Duchess try to talk, and it was just a mess. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I have everything set up here. Before I go upstairs, why don't I just try testing everything? Oh, you know what I ever did check? Did I get any voicemails today? Whoa, can't do that. Can't do that. Voicemails. Yes, I have 2 voicemails. I'll save them for Monday. If they're but, yeah, so anyhow, I talked to Duchess this morning and I said, because her voice sounds like it hurts, and she says it doesn't hurt, but it still sounds like it hurts. Duchess is doing so many podcasts, she lost her voice. No, she went out and, hey, Aaron, how's it going? She went on that 20-mile hike, and there's all that pollen and crap, and she wasn't feeling good before she went, and now it got into her voice box. So she's having issues talking. But so anyhow, I bought that one mixer. This is just me bitching. Excuse me while I bitch for a little while. Hey there, BR549. So I bought this mixer because I was sick and tired of the ones that I have breaking all the time. And that thing came in here and it just doesn't do what I needed to do like this one does. And I was like, why can't I have the reliability of the one in the one that I want? Hey, I'm not even putting that up on the screen. So anyhow, I had it out today and I was playing with it and trying to do different things with it. I had to put it away before I hit it with a hammer. It's a lot of money. I'll be honest with you. I feel like sending that back and buying another Duo and then just leaving that there. So when the one breaks, I could just take and put the other one in here and then send it back and forth, because I just want frequent flyer miles from my mixers because in about a year and a half, I could probably go to Hawaii with the frequent flyer miles that I have with my mixers going back and forth. They go, oh, I don't understand, and then everybody says, well, I've had one and I've never had any problems with it. Good for you. Good for you. I'm happy for you. Very happy for you. Yes. I've had it out. I had it out today and I was playing with it. Yeah, well, I could. If I send this one back, I have 4. I have 4 mixers. I have this Mackie one, then I have the Duo, and I have 2 of the Rodecaster Pro 2s. I don't need 4 mixers. But if I got another Duo, I could send Duchess to do. Why am I even doing this? Why am I even doing this? It's ridiculous. I mean, for me, all I want to do is be able to come on here and live stream twice a week without shit breaking. And everybody, other people are like, oh, well, maybe it's, I love it when you go on, like Roadcaster has a Facebook group. So I go in and I say, is anybody having problems with this? Does anybody have this problem? And instead of, if you don't have that problem, but if you did, but no, they all come in. Oh, I've never had a problem. I've never had a problem. And then I'm just like, I'm steaming. And I'm like, don't go in there. Don't be an ass. Don't say stuff, but I can't help myself. I'm like, oh, great. I'm glad all you guys are having so much, I'm glad yours is still working, doesn't break. And if you've had it for a long time, you turn it on and off 6 times a day. Fantastic. But I'm telling you something right now, that the one I sent, the very first Roadcaster Pro I had, the very first one, I sent it to Jody. That thing's a workhorse. It had like a little button on the back that it was a good solid button, a good American button. You could feel it click. I like a clicky button. This button here, you got to hold it in. You don't hear it click. It sucks. Budvugger, I am not podcasting with Professor Tom. Not in the mood I'm in right now. But anyhow, so I figured that I would try this Mackie one because you see people, they do this and it just won't do everything I want. And then now what I'm doing is I'm Frankenstein and everything. I'm like, well, if I take this and plug this in here and route this through here, maybe this will work. Let's see what this is. Love the chat. Could it be possible when you had all those flies in your house that some got in there and messed stuff up? Good theory. I don't think so. Because I got rid of the flies and then I got the Duo. Dean's not happy with the idea of having Professor Tom on. Tom's okay, but he's just a little annoying at times. So anyhow. Yeah, Bruce is right. Never had any problems with my analog setups. You're right. But then again, okay, so that is true. But, if I want, this is what I would like to do. Is this hard? I would like to be able to route different apps into different channels. I don't want to have all my sound effects and my audio from videos that I play on the same channel with me or Duchess. All right. I want separate channels so that I can take each channel and adjust the audio the way I need it to be. Like if Duchess is a little low, I can bring it up. I want to make it nicey nice. That's all I want to do. It shouldn't be that hard. It's 2025. Apparently we sent a man to the moon, but we can't seem to figure out mixers. Apparently. We're trying to send a man to Mars, but we can't fix mixers. And the issue with the Roadcaster Pro is when it works, it's fantastic. It does everything I need it to do when it works. But when it doesn't, it's just a big cheap piece of plastic. And you would think for $700 American, and I don't know what it's going to cost now because they make these goddamn things in Australia. So now it's going to be whatever Trump's tariffs are going to be. Now it's going to be like $1,000. Joaquin says you should figure out a way to merge all the chats from all the different streams. Oh, that's right, because you guys can't see. Okay. All right. So here, BR549, he's on YouTube. It's the same function that breaks all the time. It was on a Duo. This is what happened on a Duo. I would go push the button to shut it off. And not only do you got to push it twice. Like you push the button and it says, do you want to turn this off? It's like, are you sure? No, I reached all the way back here and put my finger right and then accidentally hit the button to shut it off. Yes, I want to shut it off. Yes. So then you hit the button to shut it off, and it goes to turn off, and there's a line. It goes, woo, and then it usually goes off. Not this time. It goes, woo, and it goes back on again. And it's where all the channels are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It just has all ones. Nothing works. And so you're like, oh, wow. So then you try holding the button in to make it shut off, like a hard stop, like with a computer, like with a Mac. You can just hold the button in the back of the Mac. And after 10 or 15 seconds, it's like, okay, I get it. We're just going to power off, like in a safe mode. Not this thing. Won't do anything. Just sits there. So then you're like, God damn it, I got to unplug it. And as soon as you unplug them, that's it. They're done. They won't start back up again. They just sit there like a brick. And you hold the button, please, please, please. Nothing. So then you call their support. Support's lovely. Very nice people. Let's try this. Let's try that. Nothing ever works, but what the hell? I'll do it. It'd be cheaper to go pick it up. Yeah, kind of like a vapor lock. And so then I go and then I pack it up. I have you can't see it. There's a box over here. I keep the box and the bubble wrap. So when it's ready to go back in, I just pack it all back up again, put it in the bubble wrap box, tape it back up again, send it right back out to California. Get on the plane. I just want something that's reliable and works. That's all. I mean, I don't think it's too much to ask. All right. So and then people change things. And then you're like, okay, well, why are we doing this? Why do we change things? Like right now, if I want to, with StreamYard here, like you used to be able to just go and hit add to screen and it would move itself. But now all of a sudden you have to change it. So watch this. All right. So I'm going to just add this. All right. Cause you know how I love a good, female teacher messing with students story. So here's one here. But now if I want to remove this, instead of me going back to where I just was, that scene, it doesn't watch. Makes a liar out of me, you bitch. Oh, I know what it is. I just figured it out. Okay, so this was this. But I see how I'm small over here on the left-hand side? I'm small. I didn't want that. So now they make it where you change it so I can make myself bigger. See, isn't that nicer? It's a little bit more Jamingo, a little less Twitter. Okay. Now, if I want to remove this, I'll stay here. Watch. See, why can't I go back to the other one like this? Now I got to hit the button for that. Why? Why is this happening? All right, let's get back to the story. So apparently this high school counselor and mother of 3 admits to sexually abusing students in her office. She puts the blame on her husband for neglecting her. Please tell me if you can hear this.
State of Ohio versus Emily Nutley.
Emily Nutley went from the director of
Nutley. Jokes write themselves.
Academic Services at St. X High School to a convicted felon now facing prison time.
And how would you describe your work career?
Long and successful.
Her 18-year career came to an end last year after she was indicted on sexual battery charges.
During her employment, and specifically on November 19th and December 8th of 2023, she engaged in sexual conduct with a student of hers. The student was a 17-year-old male.
Today, for the first time publicly, Nutley admitted to the accusations.
Did you engage in sexual conduct with a 17-year-old male on those 2 dates?
Yes.
Each of those are a felony in the 3rd degree. How do you plead as to those 2 counts?
Investigators say Nutley had been helping the teen with schoolwork, then began having contact with him outside of school hours. They say Nutley sent the teen nude photos and sexually explicit messages.
With the phones. Again, with the phones and the photos. Stop sending texts and photos. You get caught all the time. And she ain't a bad looking one. Like, really, she should. I mean, it should be a misdemeanor. Yeah, she was helping him. How many does 17 go into 35? I don't know how old she is.
Then began to have a sexual relationship with the teen, both on and off school property. Today, Judge Jennifer Branch accepted Nutley's change of plea and convicted her of the 2 felonies.
Do you agree to accept whatever penalty I impose up to the maximum allowed by law? Yes, Your Honor.
Ann Nutley will be sentenced June 10th. She faces anywhere from probation up to a maximum of 10 years in prison. She will also have to register as a sex offender.
All right. So she's 7. All right. So the kid's 17. All right. And as hot as she is, misdemeanor. Just get a misdemeanor. Probation. Bruce says, where's my mouse? Bruce says, whoops. Bruce says more than 65 goes into 35. Yes. Yeah, I'm going to have to set my calendar to June 10th to find out what happened to this teacher. But God, teachers, I mean, how hard is it not to diddle the students? It shouldn't be that hard. And then she blames her husband. Oh, he wasn't servicing me. Not like a 17-year-old, I'm sure. You know, how are we supposed to hold up to the stamina of a 17-year-old? Are you kidding me? It's ridiculous. I don't know. Anyhow. Well, so good. That works. You can hear it. That's good. And then we have where's my over here? Here we go. Well, I think if you heard the one, you're going to hear the other.
I said, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
I mean, this had to be happening back before they had cell phones and everything. This had to be happening. It's not like they just got cell phones and then all of a sudden all these teachers are diddling students. I don't know. If you ask me, you would think by now, as many female teachers have been arrested. You don't hear it in the male teachers anymore. You don't hear male teachers having sexual affairs with female teachers. Very, very rarely. I would say probably maybe 1 to 10. One male teacher having relations with a female student, where these female teachers, it's almost, I mean, look how often it happens. Aaron says, remember, no matter how hot the broad, somewhere there's a guy who's tired of fucking her. That is true. I get that. Oh, do any songs play correctly? Let me see. Do I have that one here? Yes, I do. Here we go.
Tongue punch my fart box. Tongue punch my fart box. Tongue punch my fart box.
Good job!
He palmed my breasts, his thumb flicking over my nipple. Cried out, and he buried himself in me with a mighty stroke.
This is one of
Tongue
Mike's.
punch my fart box.
One of Mike's just French chef's
Tongue
kiss.
punch my fart box. He made me come. Tongue punch my fart box. Tongue punch my fart box.
Good job!
Give me your cream. Fuck me.
Good job!
All righty.
That's one sticky mess.
Yes, it is. All right, so the whatchamacallit works. My soundboard works. This works. The being able to use Brave browser, that works. So everything seems to work. I got to call Sweetwater tomorrow and see if I can turn this thing back. I'm not really, no, this isn't a solo show. This is just me testing things because, like I said, I ripped everything apart. Next Friday, Deuces and them, everybody's coming in here. I completely ripped the whole studio. Everything's changed. And I did all this while I had a gout toe. If anybody's ever had gout before, boy, does that hurt. You know, I used to hear, my friend Joe, Deuce's brother, has it. And he showed me a picture of his foot. And I was like, holy cow, looked like a truck ran over it. And my other cousin who lives up in Pennsylvania, he had it. He says it hurts so bad that when he put a sheet on it, it hurts. And I was like, oh, okay, well, is that really true? Yes, it is. My cousin said, I feel like taking my 45 out of the nightstand drawer and shooting my toe off. What causes gout? Uric acid. So I went to the doctor's not last Friday, and he says, I want to put you on this medication. I think it'll help with, with swelling and stuff, inflammation. He said, I want to put you on this medication. I said, okay. So I took it Saturday, Sunday, Monday, my toe started hurting. Tuesday, I couldn't even walk. So I called the doctor. He said, stop taking it. Oh, and you're supposed to drink tart cherry juice. So I got this. This is a quart or a liter tart cherry juice, not made from concentrate. And I drank that today. So it is better. Whoops. It is a lot better. It's a lot better than what it was, but it still hurts a little bit. Don't pee on your foot. I'll try not to. You can't, at my age, I can't make any promises. But so I sent a message to the doctor. Doctor says, stop taking the medication. And what I want you to do is I want you to come in today and get blood drawn. So I went there this morning, had blood drawn. So I'm waiting for the results. But man, if someone would have told me that, it feels like your toe's broken. No, it's worse than that, because at least with a broken toe, it doesn't hurt like a sock. Just putting a sock on it is painful. And, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like the most painful thing you've ever felt, and 1 being, just barely, this was like a 7.5. That's how much. Peeing on your feet is good for athlete's foot. Is that true? All right. So story time. So a young John Domingo, when he was like 17 or 18 years old, he had a problem with jock itch. And he had a problem so bad that it was like a quarter of the way down my thigh. It was just red and raw. And, it was terrible. And at that young age, you don't know what to say, because you're like, well, I got this jock itch, and you don't know what to do. You know what to say. So I was in the bathroom, and on the back of the toilet, when someone would poop, what you did back in the day was you got Lysol and you would spray it afterwards, and it would make your poop smell like a pine cone. So I'm looking at the can, and it says kills germs on contact, germs and bacteria on contact. And I did hear that that jock itch is basically like a bacteria. So I said, well, let's see what happens. So I lifted up the boys, and I gave it a good spraying. And oh my God, I think I put fingerprints in the sink. That's how, I saw God, the clouds parted, the light shined down. I almost passed out. Well, the next day I woke up and it was like 50% better. I said, well, if once is good, twice has got to be a lot better. So I sprayed myself down there again. Wasn't as painful this time, but it went away. And guess what? To this day, never had a problem with jock itch again. It cured it forever, ever and ever and ever. What would Bob say? Or just don't eat Dollar General food and it won't stink as bad. Oh. No, well, I don't know. My family was terrible. Well, it was Lysol spray, kills germs on contact. It was like in a big aerosol can next to Mom's Aquanet hairspray. Oh, yeah, I've done that before. Bob says I sat on a rag with mineral spirits once, peeled the skin on my nuts for 3 days like sunburn. Lacquer thinner too. I remember one time I was cleaning paint out of the sprayer, and it fell over and it fell down, just like went down the front of me in my jeans. And I'm like, I'm not even paying attention. I said, God, and I'm just continue clean. All of a sudden, fire. I was like, uh-oh. So I ran outside and I grabbed a hose and I'm like squirting down, like I'm hosing down my junk. My goodness. Yeah, you're right. That does hurt. But I didn't lose any skin. Like mine didn't peel. You must have really had, well, I guess how long did you sit on it for? Slightly damp. Sounds like you dipped your balls in mineral spirits for it to actually peel. What kind of conversation are we having today? Jock itch, paint thinner. Oh my God. That's too funny. Oh, 15-minute breaks out on a 5-gallon bucket. Okay, I got it. You know what's weird today? Here's a weird story. So I went into the doctor's office and, you're sitting there, I'm waiting to get blood drawn and the guy's there next to me. And, guy's talking. He's like, what are you in for? I said, I got to get blood drawn. I got gout. And he goes, oh, he says, I heard that's really painful. And I said, yeah. And then I said, somehow we got into, he said he was a truck driver. Oh, I know what it was. He said he was a truck driver and he was 475 pounds. And now he's like 190 pounds. And I said, oh, really? He says, yeah, I'm on Mounjaro. I said, hey, me too. So I said, somehow we got on the elevator business and he says, oh, do you know this guy? And I said, yes. And he was killed in an elevator accident. What happened was they were tearing out an elevator and they built a platform out like at the top floor. And they built the platform out and they were on a ladder and they were hanging a chain block, a hoist. And when he went to hang it, he missed the hook and it came and fell and it hit the platform and the platform broke and 2 of them went down the hatch. One guy died. The other guy didn't. I guess he hit a few things on the way down and it slowed him. So he didn't die, but he broke his ribs and broke his ankle. And I think he broke his arm. So I was like right up the street and the helper, you want to talk about luck? The guy was going to hang the chain block and he said to the helper, hey, go downstairs and get me something. So the helper gets off the platform, goes out, shuts the door, gets on the elevator, and he hears the whole crash. So he opens up the door and he sees them laying in a pit. So he quick calls 911 and calls the office and said there's an accident there. And back then we had radios. So it came over the radio that 2 guys went down the hoistway and I was like 5 blocks away. So I just took off running back when I could run. And I ran down there and he's the helper sitting there and he's like with his hands. And I go, what's going on? And he goes, the ambulance is on his way. And they were still in there. So, and the other elevator's still running. And the guy's in the pit next. And I'm like, I shut the elevator off. And they're like, you can't shut the elevator off. I said, forget. I'm shutting the elevator off. The guy's in the pit. So ambulance comes to get him out of there. The other guy, you knew he wasn't going to make it. You knew he wasn't going to make it. So then I had to call the office and I called the union too. And everybody came in and then it was a crime scene because he didn't have there was no heartbeat or anything when he was there. He was dead on the scene. So they took him out, and then they had to go and investigate everything. And what you do is you had like 4x6 timber that you would put out, and then you would put 2x12 or 2x12 lumber on top of that. That was your decking. Well, when that thing hit, it snapped one of the 2x. It's not 6. It was like 2x8 or whatever it was. Snapped the main thing, and then everything went down the hatch. Now you're not allowed to use wood supports. You have to use like steel I-beams to go out across there, and you can still put planking across it, but you cannot use wood planking. And they used to use that before. And one of the things you would do when they would, like, say you were doing a construction job, and they would bring all this timber. And what you would do is you would get 2 cinder blocks and you'd put the board on there and you get like the biggest guy on there to jump up and down. And if it cracked, it was no good. Imagine that. because one time I was on a job in modernization, and I was the biggest guy on the job. So I had to go and jump test 35 wooden planks. So okay, jump. So I go jump on it. Okay, that one's good. Yeah, OSHA, it wasn't OSHA. Well, I don't know if it was a violation, but OSHA was there. It was a big thing, big investigation. It was a sin. It was the nicest guy too. He was a helper, and we went to school together, and everybody knew him. And when we went to the funeral, I never seen a line so long. I mean, hundreds of people waiting to go through. But yep. So two stories for the day. But all right, well, I think that's about it. I think I've bored you guys enough. We will be back here on Monday. I'm sure Duchess's voice will be cleared up by then. I said to her, if you want to pop in, because we could test that too. But, I guess she's going to that's smart. Let her voice clear up a little bit. Let's see, because it's a sin. Her voice was it was tough this morning. I always sounded like she was gargling sand. But why was I the tester? Were they fat shaming me? Well, back then we didn't call it fat shaming. Well, I guess in today's whatever you would call it, environment, yes, I guess they were fat shaming me. No, I mean, you were just like one of the biggest guys, so you would get on there and you would jump on it and listen for the crack. And probably out of 35 boards, we lost like 3 or 4 of them. So she needs a voice box thing to put. Oh, she needs a cancer kazoo. Do I have one here? Let me double check.
You think she needs would have been great if she had one of these. All she had to do was, if I whisper in this, she could have whispered in this and it would have been fine.
All right. Everybody, listen, have a great weekend. If you're not doing anything tomorrow morning, 9:00 Eastern, 6:00 Pacific, go to Twitter and look up The Weathered View. Isn't that it? And he does a morning show on Twitter Spaces, and go check it out. Go listen to it. I enjoy it. I was listening this morning. Couldn't talk, but I was listening this morning, and you never know what you're going to hear on that. So, all right, guys, take it easy. Have yourself a good weekend, and I will talk to you on Monday.